Welcome to part 3 of web. Today, or this video, we will be going over the more in-depth of TSX, chakra, CSS styling, and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Here, by the way, is the way I was able to achieve this. So, I was able to achieve this right here by having the code inside of a box component and having two text components, and then one of them being red. Okay. So if you if you did a different way, that's fine as long as it looks like this. To be honest, but we're not going to need any of this code later. Actually, we'll keep it in this about. So I'm going to make a new page and call it contact.tsx. Okay. So remember, export default function, contact, return, parentheses, box, and then close, and make sure to import box from chakra. There you go. Okay, so now if we go ahead and run our server, so npm run dev, head over to the page and go to /contact, because remember, that's the name right here. If we head over to that page, we'll wait for it to load, but just to start, we are going to work with images and the public folder. Okay, so we're going to import the image class from chakra. So comma image. We're going to self-close this image component, this / angle bracket, meaning it's self-closing. You can see that there's only one tag. As with box, there's the opening and closing tag. This one is just a self-closing tag. So inside of the tag, we're going to add a source attribute. Okay. And actually, let's go find an image that we want to use. So let's look up snakes. Okay. We'll go over to images and let's use this one. Okay. So we'll go and we're going to go and save image as. Okay. And you're going to want to make sure that the image is saved in the folder that the code is in. So to find that, most likely you guys have it in documents. I have it stored on a separate drive. So I'm going to go to React Next.js dev course, and inside, I'm going to save it inside the public folder. Okay, so basically this is going to be your directory, okay, like wherever you stored your folder, and then the public folder. Okay, and we'll call this snake.jpg. Okay, so we can go back to VS Code, and you'll see, if we open up the public folder, you'll see that we have a snake image now. So if I click on it, you'll see, boom, we have a snake image. Okay, so in the contact.tsx, okay, if I want to display that onto this page, okay, let's make this a center tag. Remember, what center does is just centers it on the page. Okay, so we have to wait for that to compile. But to add the image to our page, we're going to use an image component, And the source, okay, basically what the source is going to be slash and then the name of the file, okay? So whenever we type slash right here inside of the source, it is going to access this public folder, okay? So I can type snake.jpg, okay, and this would work. But say I had multiple snakes and I made like a folder called snakes and put it in there. So you can see now I'm in public snakes, snake.jpg. What I have to do is, because this / is accessing this public folder, I would have to go /snakes and then /snake.jpg. And this .jpg or dot whatever the extension is very important. It will not render if it's not, okay? And let's add a description of the image. This alt tag is used for people who have screen readers on, basically people who are blind and still use a computer. So this alt text will be read to them instead of them looking at screens. So what we can do say is we can look up green. We can type green snake as the description because it is, or actually it's yellow. So we'll put yellow. Yellow toothless snake. Right, you want to have as much description as possible, but don't waste too much time on the alt text. Okay. So if this could load, that would be amazing. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to zoom out real quick so you can see I'm actually holding the control button, and if you're on Mac, you can hold command. But if you hold control and scroll out, it actually zooms out the page, okay? So this image is very big, okay? And I don't want that. I want the image to be a certain size. So what we can do is we can set the width of the image to, let's say, 500 pixels, okay? And there you go. That's a little bit easier to work with because it is a small image. Notice how I'm not explicitly mentioning the height of this image. So if I do height 500 pixels, you'll see that the image actually distorts. Okay, so it distorts so it can create this box. If I do not specify both of the elements, I only specify one, the other one will automatically resize. So if I put height as 500, you'll see that the width will increase as well. And that's a quirk with images. If you don't want that to happen, then you have to set both of the properties to a specific thing. You can see, there you go, it shrunk. Obviously, that's not good, but yep. So we'll set it back to 500 pixels. And let's go grab another image of a snake. Okay, so go back to the snake thing, and let's use this one. Okay, save image as. Go inside the snakes folder because remember I want it to be in there, so I'm able to access it. Go in, we'll call it snake2 2.jpg, and then we'll make another image component, and the source of this image component will be snake2.jpg. Okay, because remember, inside this public folder now we have two files. And I have to go look at this one. It'll be like yellow. It's also yellow toothless snake opening its mouth. Okay. And you don't have to worry about grammar or punctuation. Not grammar, punctuation, because it's going to be read on a text reader. But you can add that if you want. Anyways, let's go to the back to the website. You'll see that they both have a width of 100, but I want them to be equal heights. So I'm going to go back and set the height to 500. So there you go. Now they are like even here. Okay. So I'm going to set this back to actually 250 because I'm going to add another snake image. Okay. So I'm going to add, let's say this blue one. This blue one looks cool. Could save image as, call it snake3.jpg. Go back to our code. Change this to snake3. Go back to the website, and you'll see that, there you go. Our blue snake is came in live, so we're going to blue snake looking at camera. Okay, so the alt text, remember, is optional, but it's very good practice if you use it, because people who are blind can use your website now. But let's go set the height to like 400 pixels. So I can get a little bigger, and there you go. Okay, so I have 3 snake images, right? But I want some space between them. Okay, like I want some space here. Okay, and there is a way you can do that individually. Okay, and I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show you why this is bad. So you can write this code, but I'm going to delete it later. The way you would do it individually is you would go to this second image. Okay, you would skip over the first one, go to the second image. ML stands for margin left, and margin left is basically spacing. And you'll see if I add margin left 100 pixels, this space right here is 100 pixels. Okay, and so what I would do is I'd also do it on the image to the right, and it has margin left now as thing, so it's evenly spaced. But the issue is, now every single time I add another image, I have to add margin left, right? But I don't want to do that, okay? And there is an easier way even to do that. So instead of using this center tag as the parents, because remember, this component right here is called the child, the immediate child of this center. Instead of using the center tag, I'm going to want to use what's called a horizontal stack, okay? And again, remember, if we go back to chakra and type in hstack, which is, or just stack, you'll see that there is a bunch of different stacks. There's stack, horizontal stack, and vertical stack, okay? And they all do a bunch of different things. Basically, the horizontal stack is going to make its children, I'll show you actually. So if we go back to the website, you'll see that the horizontal stack makes them go sideways, so obviously horizontally. And if we do a V stack, and we use that as the parent, you'll see that they stack on top of each other. Okay, so that's basically the difference. Obviously, we're going to want to use an H stack. So we're going to use that. But there's a special property on this H stack that makes this super easy. As you can see, there is already space here. And by default, there is 1 pixel of what's called spacing. Okay, there's a spacing attribute here on the H stack. And basically, this is going to automatically add margin left to all of the images except the first one. So if we do spacing 20 pixels, or let's say 100 like we had before, let's do 50. Make the images actually a little bit smaller. So if we have spacing 50, now if we add another image, you'll see that automatically, right here, the spacing is added. Okay? So now instead, I can just keep adding childs, and boom, obviously it's going to do a sideways scrolling. But there you go, you can see that it automatically adds spacing to every element. Okay? So that's a very simple H stack. Okay, we're going to go back to 3 images. But if you see right here, before, when we was using the center tag, basically what we were doing was what I'm about to do now. Okay, so if I want these 3 images to be in the center of the web page, but I still want the spacing right here, I can add a attribute called justify, and we can justify it to the center. And there you go, boom. Now we have them centered and spaced. Okay, so what if I want it to be centered with the Y position as well? Okay, so I'm going to make this background red, okay, real quick, just so you guys can see it. But right here, you can see that this red box is what's called the H stack, okay? So this H stack basically takes up the entire width, whatever. So if I do justify center, it's in the center. If I do justify flex end, it's going to go at the end. And if I do justify flex start, it's going to do the start, just like it was. This is the default attribute, by the way, the default one. And there's another one which is actually even better than using spacing. It's called justify space between, and this is basically going to add as much space as possible. You see, they get separated when zooming out as much as possible. Okay, there is one called space evenly, which is going to add like spacing evenly around all the edges. So you can see this space right here is the same as this space right here. But there's a bunch of different ones, and you'll learn all about them. For now, we'll use center. So right now, we have these images, okay? But what if I wanted them to actually be able to click on them? I want them, so when I click on it, it takes me to like another page, okay? So what I could do is in Chakra, there's what's called a link component, okay? And this link component, basically you wrap it around anything you want it to be able to be linkable. So we'll close that, and we will put the image in the link. And if we put a href inside of the link, and let's say we want to go to /snakes/snake3. Actually, let's go to snake3/snake3. Okay, so this href is basically going to, when we click on it, you can see my house, my mouse, when I hover over this image, my mouse turns into the pointer, meaning I can click on it. So if I do click on it, you'll see that the URL right here changes from contact to snake3. Okay? So that gets changed, and if we want, we can make an actual snake3 page. So snake3.tsx, export default function snake3 return. We're going to return a box, and then close, and then we're going to go import box from app chakra. And inside this box, we're also going to use the image. So source equals snake or /snakes. Remember, this is the public folder. So /snakes, and I want to access this specific one. So /snakes/snake3.jpg. I'm going to close that. I'm going to make sure I import image. And you can see now if I go and click on this, it will take me to the snake3 page. And boom, now we have an enlarged image. So if, like, say I wanted to make the width, I don't know, 500 pixels. I wanted to center the image, and then I wanted some like text, right? Like a text right here about, I don't know. This just some random self. It doesn't matter. So this is gonna be the random text. So here you go. Let's actually make this an H stack, or a, remember before, what we can do is just wrap this inside of a normal stack or a vertical stack. Because remember, vertical stack is up and down, horizontal stack is left and right. So if we wrap this entire thing inside of a vertical stack, you'll see now they're above each other, and I want to make the text like maximum width of 400 pixels or 800 pixels. Okay, so then the text is going to shrink down, go 400. There you go. So boom. And now basically that's pretty much it. Your job or challenge for this video is to basically copy what I've done. So for the other two snakes, make it so when you click on it, it will take them to their respective snake page. So this will be snake 2 and this will be snake 1. And when you click on them, it's going to show the exact same image and then some text right below it. Okay? If you have any questions, you can always direct message me, and I'll be happy to help you guys. But other than that, I'll see you next video.